Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when you must make a choice, not out of anger, not out of frustration, but out of clarity. That choice is to walk away. Not with drama, not with a parade of explanations, but with silence and purpose. Leaving silently is not an act of weakness, it is an act of wisdom. It is the realization that your growth, your peace, and your future demand separation from anything that no longer aligns with your destiny. Silence is power. It speaks volumes without uttering a word. When you choose silence, you deny the noise of unnecessary arguments, the distractions of validation, and the chaos of conflict. You refuse to explain to those who will never understand, and you resist the urge to retaliate against those who thrive on provoking you. You see, life is not about trying to convince others of your worth or begging for understanding. True strength is knowing when to step back, protect your space, and focus on becoming the person you were meant to be. Leaving silently is about self-respect. It's about saying, I value my peace more than your approval. It's about choosing growth over grudges and purpose over pettiness. Sometimes people won't understand why you left. They may criticize, they may gossip, they may try to drag you back into old patterns, but remember, their confusion is not your burden to carry. When you leave silently, you allow your actions to do the talking. Focus on building. Focus on healing. Focus on becoming so disciplined, so focused, and so aligned with your vision that your success speaks for itself. The greatest response to those who doubted you, betrayed you, or underestimated you is not words, it's transformation. Let your silence be the seed, and let your growth be the harvest. But leaving silently does not mean leaving bitterly. It does not mean carrying resentment in your heart. No, forgive, but don't forget. Release, but don't return. Forgiveness is not about excusing behavior, it's about freeing yourself from its hold. As you walk away, do it with grace. Do it with dignity. Because leaving silently isn't about them, it's about you. It's about reclaiming your energy, protecting your peace, and pursuing your destiny. And one day, those who didn't value your presence will feel the weight of your absence. Not because you sought revenge, but because you refused to settle. So I leave you with this walk away, not in anger, but in awareness. Leave silently, but let your growth speak louder than words ever could. Remember, your peace is priceless, and your purpose is too important to compromise. Silence is a profound force, often underestimated in a world that glorifies noise, words, and constant activity. It carries an inherent power that transcends mere speech or action, acting as a bridge between thought and understanding. In moments of silence, clarity is born and strength is revealed. Silence is not merely the absence of sound, it is the presence of control, discipline, and self-awareness. It is in silence that the deepest battles are fought, the strongest decisions are made, and the most transformative changes take root. When you choose silence, you are taking a position of power without announcing it. Words, though valuable, can often be misused or misunderstood. They can inflame tensions, escalate conflicts, and expose vulnerabilities. Silence, on the other hand, cannot be twisted or manipulated. It allows you to maintain control, both over yourself and over the situation at hand. It is a shield protecting your intentions and your emotions from being prematurely revealed. In silence, you become unpredictable, and unpredictability is a form of strength. It keeps others guessing, wondering about your thoughts, your next move, and your true intentions. Silence is a space for reflection. It is a chance to step back and observe rather than react. In moments of conflict, people often feel compelled to fill the air with explanations, defenses, or justifications. Yet, in doing so, they can lose sight of the bigger picture. Silence gives you the time to evaluate, to weigh your options, and to act with purpose rather than impulse. It creates a pause, a moment of detachment where emotions settle and logic prevails. Through silence, you regain control over your responses, ensuring that your actions align with your values and goals. In silence, you discover yourself. It is in quiet moments, away from the distractions of the world, that you begin to hear your own thoughts clearly. You begin to understand your desires, your fears, and your purpose. Silence forces you to confront yourself, to sit with your own truths without the noise of outside influences. This self-awareness is the foundation of true power. When you know who you are, when you are certain of your values and your purpose, you become unshakable. Silence is the space where this certainty is cultivated. Silence also carries the power to disarm others. In a heated argument or a tense situation, the instinct is often to speak louder, to out-argue or overpower the other person with words. But silence has the opposite effect. It diffuses tension, catches people off guard, and shifts the dynamic. When you refuse to engage in negativity, you strip it of its power. Your silence communicates that you are not willing to lower yourself to the level of conflict. It is a statement of strength, of emotional maturity, and of self-control. Others may expect a reaction, but your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their actions back onto themselves. In relationships, silence can be a tool for setting boundaries. Not every action or comment requires a response. By choosing silence, you communicate that you will not entertain disrespect, manipulation, or negativity. It is not about avoidance, it is about standing firm in your values without the need for confrontation. Silence sends a clear message that you value your peace and self-respect over unnecessary drama. It is a way of preserving your energy for what truly matters, for the people and situations that align with your purpose. Silence also creates space for others to listen. In a world where everyone is eager to be heard, the act of remaining silent can be transformative. It shifts the focus from speaking to understanding. By staying silent, you give others the opportunity to reflect on their own words and actions. You allow them to process their thoughts without interruption. This can lead to deeper conversations, greater understanding, and stronger connections. Silence in this way becomes a tool for building bridges rather than walls. One of the most profound aspects of silence is its ability to command respect. When you speak less, your words carry more weight. People begin to listen more attentively when they know that you only speak with purpose. Silence becomes a filter, ensuring that your words are meaningful and impactful. It is not about withholding your voice, but about choosing when and how to use it. This restraint is a sign of wisdom and maturity. It demonstrates that you are not driven by ego or emotion, but by intention. In professional settings, silence can be a strategic asset. Meetings, negotiations, and discussions are often dominated by those who speak the most, but it is often the silent observer who holds the most power. By listening intently and speaking thoughtfully, you position yourself as someone who is measured, insightful, and composed. Silence allows you to gather information, understand dynamics, and make informed decisions. It gives you the upper hand, as others may reveal more than they intended while you remain composed and deliberate. Silence also has the power to heal. In the chaos of daily life, silence offers a sanctuary, a place where you can reconnect with yourself and find inner peace. It is in silence that you can process emotions, release stress, and gain perspective. It is a form of self-care, a way of nurturing your mind and spirit. Silence allows you to step away from the demands of the world and focus on your well-being. It is a reminder that your value is not tied to your productivity or your ability to please others. In silence, you learn to be present, to appreciate the moment, and to find joy in simply being. There is also a spiritual dimension to silence. Many traditions emphasize the importance of stillness and solitude in connecting with something greater than oneself. Whether through meditation, prayer, or quiet contemplation, silence becomes a pathway to transcendence. It is in silence that you can hear the whispers of intuition, the guidance of wisdom, and the stirrings of inspiration. Silence is a reminder of the vastness of the universe and your place within it. It humbles you, grounds you, and fills you with a sense of purpose. Silence is not passive, it is active. It is a choice, a discipline, and a skill. It requires strength to remain silent when provoked, patience to stay silent when tempted to speak, and wisdom to use silence as a tool rather than a weapon. It is not about suppressing your voice, but about mastering it. Silence is not the absence of expression, but the refinement of it. It is about knowing when to speak and when to hold back, when to engage and when to step away. The power of silence is not limited to personal interactions. It extends to the way you approach life itself. In a culture that celebrates busyness and constant activity, silence becomes a form of rebellion. It is a declaration that you do not need to be constantly doing, producing, or achieving to be worthy. Silence allows you to step back, to breathe, and to simply exist. It is a way of reclaiming your time, your energy, and your focus. In silence, you find freedom from the pressures of the world and reconnect with what truly matters. In moments of silence, the most profound insights often emerge. It is in the stillness that creativity is sparked, solutions are found, and visions are born. Silence gives you the space to dream, to imagine, and to create. It is a reminder that the most important work often happens within, away from the eyes of others. Silence is not empty, it is full of potential. It is the fertile ground where ideas take root and grow. Silence also teaches you to value your own company. It is a reminder that you do not need the constant validation or presence of others to feel complete. In silence, you learn to be comfortable with yourself, to enjoy your own thoughts, and to find fulfillment within. This self-sufficiency is a source of strength. When you are at peace with yourself, you become less dependent on the approval of others. You become more confident, more resilient, and more focused on your own path. In the end, silence is a gift. It is a tool for growth, a source of strength, and a path to wisdom. It is a reminder that power does not always come from what you say, but from what you choose not to say. Silence is not a void, it is a presence. It is a presence of control, of purpose, and of self-awareness. It is through silence that you find your voice, your power, and your truth. Self-respect is the foundation upon which every aspect of your life is built. It is not given by others, nor is it determined by external achievements or validations. It comes from within. Self-respect is the unshakable belief that you are worthy, deserving, and capable of living a life that aligns with your values, principles, and purpose. When you possess self-respect, you move through life with a sense of dignity and clarity that cannot be shaken by the opinions, actions, or judgments of others. It becomes the anchor that keeps you steady in a world full of distractions, challenges, and uncertainties. At its core, self-respect is about knowing your worth. It is the quiet understanding that you are valuable not because of what you do or what you have, but simply because of who you are. This understanding allows you to set boundaries, to say no when needed, and to walk away from situations, relationships, or environments that compromise your peace and integrity. It is not arrogance or pride, rather it is a humble acknowledgement of your inherent value and the refusal to settle for less than you deserve. Self-respect is about treating yourself with the same kindness, compassion, and care that you would offer to someone you deeply cherish. When self-respect comes first, it changes the way you approach every decision in your life. It guides the way you choose your relationships, your career, and even how you spend your time. You begin to understand that every choice you make either honors or diminishes your self-respect. You no longer tolerate being treated poorly or taken for granted because you know that allowing such behavior chips away at your sense of self-worth. When self-respect is at the forefront, you recognize that staying in situations where you are undervalued or disrespected is a disservice to yourself. You realize that walking away is not an act of weakness, but a declaration of strength and self-awareness. Self-respect also teaches you the value of boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are guidelines that define how you expect to be treated and how you choose to treat others. They protect your energy, your time, and your emotional well-being. Without boundaries, you risk being stretched too thin, manipulated, or taken advantage of. When you have self-respect, you establish boundaries not out of fear or anger, but out of a deep understanding of your worth. You no longer feel the need to explain or justify your boundaries to others because you know that those who truly respect you will honor them. One of the most profound aspects of self-respect is its ability to foster independence. When you respect yourself, you no longer rely on others to validate your existence or define your happiness. You become self-sufficient, emotionally resilient, and capable of finding fulfillment within yourself. This independence does not mean isolating yourself from others, rather. It means that your sense of self-worth is not contingent on anyone else's approval. You are free to build relationships from a place of mutual respect and genuine connection rather than out of need or insecurity. You no longer cling to people who do not value you because you understand that their lack of appreciation does not diminish your worth. Self-respect also transforms the way you handle criticism and rejection. In a world where everyone has an opinion, it can be easy to internalize negativity and allow it to undermine your confidence. But when you have self-respect, you are able to discern between constructive feedback and baseless criticism. You no longer take rejection personally because you understand that it is not a reflection of your value. Instead, you view it as an opportunity to grow, learn, and redirect your efforts towards something better. Self-respect gives you the strength to stand tall in the face of adversity and to remain grounded in your truth, no matter what others may say or think. With self-respect comes the ability to forgive yourself. We all make mistakes, experience failures, and face moments of regret. Without self-respect, these experiences can weigh heavily on your heart, leading to feelings of shame and self-doubt. But when you respect yourself, you recognize that mistakes are a natural part of life and an essential part of growth. You learn to extend compassion to yourself, to acknowledge your humanity, and to move forward without allowing your past to define you. Forgiving yourself is not about excusing poor choices. It is about giving yourself the grace to learn and the freedom to evolve. Self-respect also influences the way you treat others. When you respect yourself, you naturally extend that respect to those around you. You no longer feel the need to belittle, manipulate, or compete with others because you are secure in who you are. You can celebrate other people's successes without feeling threatened. And you can offer support without expecting anything in return. Self-respect allows you to approach relationships with authenticity and integrity because you are not seeking to fill a void within yourself. Instead, you are able to give freely and receive graciously, creating connections that are rooted in mutual respect and understanding. Another powerful aspect of self-respect is its ability to cultivate discipline. When you respect yourself, you prioritize your goals, your health, and your personal development. You become more intentional with your actions, choosing to invest your time and energy in things that align with your values and aspirations. Self-respect motivates you to set high standards for yourself and to hold yourself accountable for meeting them. It pushes you to show up for yourself every day, even when it's difficult, because you understand that you are worth the effort. Discipline born from self-respect is not about perfection, it is about consistency and commitment to your own growth. Self-respect also brings a sense of peace. When you respect yourself, you stop seeking validation from the outside world. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself or to conform to others' expectations. This inner peace allows you to live authentically, to embrace your true self, and to pursue a life that brings you joy and fulfillment. You become less concerned with what others think and more focused on what genuinely matters to you. This shift in perspective allows you to navigate life with confidence and clarity, free from the pressures of comparison and competition. In moments of challenge or conflict, self-respect becomes your anchor. It reminds you to stay true to your values even when it's difficult. It gives you the courage to stand up for yourself and to make choices that honor your well-being. Self-respect does not mean avoiding conflict altogether. It means approaching it with grace, strength, and a clear sense of purpose. It means speaking up when necessary, but also knowing when to walk away. Self-respect empowers you to handle challenges with dignity, ensuring that your actions reflect the person you aspire to be. Ultimately, self-respect is the foundation for living a life of purpose and fulfillment. It is the lens through which you view yourself and the world around you. When you respect yourself, you create a life that aligns with your values, your goals, and your dreams. You surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, and you let go of those who do not. You pursue opportunities that bring you closer to your purpose, and you decline those that do not. Self-respect is not a destination, it is a journey, a continuous process of honoring your worth and striving to be the best version of yourself. It is the compass that guides you through life, ensuring that every step you take is a step toward becoming the person you were meant to be. Transformation is the ultimate power you hold in life. It is the ability to take the experiences, challenges, and even the wounds you endure and turn them into something greater. Too often, people find themselves trapped in the cycle of retaliation, a natural but counterproductive response to pain, betrayal, or perceived injustice. Retaliation is reactive. It stems from anger, hurt, and the desire to even the score. But transformation is proactive. It takes that same energy and channels it toward growth, healing, and becoming stronger. While retaliation may offer a fleeting sense of satisfaction, it ultimately leaves you bound to the very thing you're trying to escape. Transformation, however, liberates you. It allows you to rise above, to redefine your narrative, and to emerge as a version of yourself that is wiser, more resilient, and more purposeful. To focus on transformation instead of retaliation is to recognize that life's greatest challenges are also its greatest opportunities. When someone wrongs you or a situation leaves you broken, you have a choice to respond in a way that mirrors the hurt or to rise above it. Retaliation might seem like the easier choice in the moment because it feels immediate and justified, but it comes at a cost. It ties you to the pain, keeps your focus on the past, and prevents you from moving forward. Transformation, on the other hand, requires patience, strength, and self-awareness. It demands that you take responsibility for how you respond, even when you are not at fault for what happened. It is not about ignoring the hurt or pretending that the wrong never occurred. It is about choosing to use it as fuel for your growth. Transformation begins with a shift in perspective. It requires you to look at adversity not as something that defines you, but as something that refines you. Every setback, every betrayal, and every challenge carries within it the seeds of growth. It is not the situation itself that determines your outcome, but how you choose to respond to it. When you focus on retaliation, you give your power away. You let the actions of others dictate your behavior and your peace of mind. But when you focus on transformation, you reclaim that power. You decide that no matter what happens, you will not allow it to diminish your character, your values, or your vision for your life. Choosing transformation over retaliation does not mean suppressing your emotions or denying your pain. On the contrary, it means confronting those emotions head on and using them as a catalyst for change. Anger, disappointment, and hurt are natural responses to being wrong, but they do not have to control you. When you acknowledge these feelings without being consumed by them, you create space for clarity and purpose. You begin to ask yourself not, how can I get back at them, but rather what can I learn from this, and how can this make me better? This shift in focus is what sets transformation apart from retaliation. It moves you from being a victim of your circumstances to being the architect of your own growth. Transformation is not about proving anything to others, it is about proving something to yourself. Retaliation often stems from the desire to send a message to show someone that they cannot hurt you without consequences. But in doing so, you remain tethered to their actions and their approval. Transformation, on the other hand, is a deeply personal journey. It is about becoming so secure in who you are that you no longer need validation from those who wronged you. It is about setting your own standards for success and fulfillment, independent of anyone else's opinions or expectations. When you focus on transformation, you prioritize your own growth and well-being above all else. One of the most powerful aspects of transformation is its ability to turn pain into purpose. The very things that hurt you the most can become the foundation for your greatest growth. Transformation allows you to take what was meant to harm you and use it to strengthen yourself and others. It gives you the courage to share your story, to inspire others who may be going through similar struggles, and to create something meaningful out of your experiences. Retaliation, by contrast, keeps you focused on the past. It narrows your vision and prevents you from seeing the bigger picture. Transformation widens that lens and helps you realize that every experience, no matter how painful, has the potential to serve a greater purpose. Transformation also requires a commitment to self-reflection and self-improvement. It is not about changing others or trying to control external circumstances. It is about changing yourself. This does not mean taking responsibility for the actions of others, but it does mean taking responsibility for how you respond to those actions. It means asking yourself, how can I grow from this, and what does this experience reveal about me? Transformation is not a passive process. It is an active choice to learn, to grow, and to evolve. It demands that you take an honest look at yourself, identify areas for improvement, and take steps to become the person you aspire to be. Focusing on transformation also involves letting go of the need for revenge. Revenge might seem satisfying in the moment, but it ultimately leaves you empty. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of negativity and prevents you from moving on. Letting go does not mean condoning the actions of others or pretending that the hurt never happened. It means choosing to release the grip that anger and resentment have on your heart. It means prioritizing your peace over the need to be right or to settle the score. When you let go of revenge, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your happiness, and your future. Transformation is a process that requires patience and perseverance. It is not something that happens overnight, nor is it always easy. There will be moments when you feel tempted to retaliate, when the pain seems too great, or when the path forward feels unclear. But in those moments, it is important to remember why you chose transformation in the first place. It is not about denying the hurt or pretending to be unaffected. It is about refusing to let that hurt define you. It is about choosing to rise above, to learn, and to become stronger. When you focus on transformation, you begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth. You start to view setbacks as stepping stones and failures as lessons. You realize that the only person you can truly control is yourself, and that true power lies in how you choose to respond to life's difficulties. Transformation allows you to take ownership of your life and to shape your future in a way that aligns with your values and goals. It empowers you to move forward with confidence, clarity, and purpose. Ultimately, focusing on transformation over retaliation is an act of self-respect and self-love. It is a commitment to your own growth and well-being, a decision to prioritize your peace and purpose over momentary satisfaction. It is about becoming the best version of yourself, not to prove anything to others, but because you owe it to yourself. Transformation is the highest form of strength. It is the ability to take what was meant to break you and use it to build something extraordinary. When you choose transformation, you choose freedom. You choose to live life on your terms, unbound by the actions of others and unwavering in your commitment to growth. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful and liberating acts a person can undertake. It is not a sign of weakness, but of immense strength. To forgive means to release yourself from the emotional chains of anger, resentment, and bitterness that bind you to the actions of others. It allows you to take control of your emotions in your life rather than letting the actions of others control you. But forgiveness does not mean returning to what hurt you. It does not mean reopening a door that was closed for your protection, nor does it mean welcoming back people or situations that have proven to be harmful. Forgive, yes, but do not return. This balance between grace and self-preservation is the key to living a life rooted in peace, self-respect, and growth. Forgiveness is a deeply personal act, and it begins within you. It is not something you do for the benefit of others. It is something you do to set yourself free. When someone wrongs you, it is natural to feel anger and betrayal. These emotions are valid and they should not be dismissed. But holding on to them for too long can become toxic. Anger left unchecked can harden into resentment, and resentment can consume you. It can cloud your mind, poison your spirit, and keep you tethered to the very pain you are trying to escape. Forgiveness breaks that cycle. It allows you to let go of the heavy burden of resentment and make room for healing and peace. To forgive is to acknowledge the hurt, process it, and then release it. It is not about excusing the behavior of others or pretending that the hurt never happened. It is about choosing not to let that hurt define you or dictate your future. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, a way to reclaim your power and your peace. But forgiving someone does not mean inviting them back into your life. It does not mean giving them the same access or trusting them in the same way. Forgiveness and reconciliation are two separate things, and it is important to distinguish between them. Reconciliation requires mutual effort, accountability, and a genuine commitment to change. It is a two-way street, and it can only occur if both parties are willing to do the work. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is something you can do entirely on your own. It does not depend on the other person's actions, apologies, or acknowledgement of wrongdoing. You can forgive someone without ever speaking to them again, and you can forgive someone without giving them a place in your life. Forgiveness is about finding closure within yourself, not about reopening doors that were closed for your well-being. When you forgive but choose not to return, you are prioritizing your own growth and healing. You are setting boundaries and protecting yourself from further harm. Boundaries are not about punishment, they are about self-respect. They are a way of saying, I value myself enough to protect my peace and well-being. Forgiving someone does not mean you owe them your trust, your time, or your energy. Trust, once broken, must be earned, and even then, it may not be restored to its original state. Forgiveness allows you to release the past, but it does not obligate you to re-enter situations or relationships that are not in your best interest. Choosing not to return after forgiving someone is an act of self-love. It is a recognition that your well-being matters, that your peace is non-negotiable, and that you have the right to protect yourself from harm. It is not about holding a grudge or seeking revenge. It is about making a conscious decision to prioritize your own growth and happiness. Some people may interpret your decision not to return as unforgiveness, but that is not the case. Forgiveness is an internal process, and it does not require external validation or explanation. It is possible to forgive someone fully and completely while still choosing to walk away. Walking away does not mean you are unkind or unloving. It means you are wise enough to recognize patterns and protect yourself from repeating them. People can change, but change takes time and effort. It is not your responsibility to wait for someone to change or to put yourself in harm's way in the hope that they will. Forgiveness allows you to release the anger and resentment that hold you back. But walking away allows you to move forward with clarity and purpose. It is a way of saying, I forgive you, but I will not allow you to hurt me again. Forgiveness without return is particularly important when dealing with toxic relationships or situationship. Toxicity often comes with a cycle of hurt and reconciliation, where apologies are made but the behavior never truly changes. In such cases, returning can trap you in a never-ending loop of pain and disappointment. Forgiving but not returning breaks that cycle. It allows you to heal without subjecting yourself to further harm. It is not an easy decision to make, especially when emotions and attachments are involved, but it is a necessary one for your own well-being. Forgiveness also involves releasing the desire for revenge. Revenge may seem tempting, especially when the hurt runs deep, but it ultimately keeps you tied to the pain. It keeps you focused on the past and prevents you from moving forward. Forgiveness allows you to let go of that desire and focus on your own growth instead. It is not about letting the other person off the hook. It is about freeing yourself from the hold they have on your emotions. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting, but it does mean choosing not to let the hurt define you or control your actions. To forgive but not return is to embrace your own worth. It is a declaration that you deserve better, that you are not defined by the actions of others, and that you are capable of moving forward without them. It is a way of reclaiming your power and taking ownership of your life. Forgiveness allows you to heal, and walking away allows you to grow. Together they create a path toward peace and fulfillment. Forgiving someone does not mean you stop caring about them or wishing them well. It simply means you recognize that your paths are no longer aligned. You can forgive someone and still choose to love them from a distance. You can forgive someone and still choose to protect yourself from further harm. Forgiveness is about releasing the hold that anger and resentment have on your heart, but it is also about honoring your own needs and boundaries. It is about finding a balance between grace and self-respect. Forgiveness is a powerful act, but it is not a cure-all. It does not erase the hurt, nor does it guarantee that the other person will change. It is not about condoning their actions or forgetting what happened. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the emotional weight of the past so that you can move forward with clarity and purpose. It is about choosing peace over conflict, growth over stagnation, and self-respect over the need for validation. When you forgive but choose not to return, you are making a statement about what you value. You are saying that your peace, your growth, and your well-being matter more than the need to hold on to something that no longer serves you. It is a courageous act, one that requires strength, self-awareness, and a deep commitment to your own happiness. Forgiveness allows you to let go of the pain, and choosing not to return allows you to create space for something better. Together, they pave the way for a life that is rooted in peace, purpose, and self-respect. There is an undeniable power in absence, a quiet strength that echoes louder than words ever could. When you remove yourself from a situation or a person's life, your absence has the ability to communicate truths that would otherwise go unnoticed or unacknowledged. It is not an act of hostility or resentment, rather, it is a profound expression of self-awareness, respect, and emotional intelligence. Your absence is not just a void, it becomes a presence of its own, a presence that forces reflection, invites introspection, and in some cases sparks transformation. The decision to step away is rarely easy, especially when emotions, history, or relationships are involved. However, there comes a point when your presence no longer holds the value it deserves. When you are overlooked, taken for granted, or treated as though your efforts and energy are expendable, staying in such an environment diminishes your self-worth. Removing yourself is not an act of bitterness, it is an act of reclaiming your value. Your absence becomes the loudest reminder of the void you leave behind, a void that many do not recognize until you are no longer there. When you withdraw your presence, it disrupts the status quo. People often grow comfortable with what they have, assuming that it will always be there, no matter how they treat it. Familiarity breeds complacency. And it is only in absence that the true worth of a person or their contributions becomes clear. Your absence forces others to confront the gap you leave, to reflect on the ways they may have taken you for granted, and to reckon with the impact of your presence that they might have ignored. It is not about proving a point or seeking validation, it is about allowing the natural course of realization to unfold. Absence creates space, not just physical space, but emotional and mental space as well. In that space, people are left to sit with their own thoughts, their own actions, and their own patterns. The noise and distractions of your presence are removed, and what remains is an undeniable void that speaks volumes. It is in this silence that the depth of your contributions, your kindness, and your presence begins to resonate. People are forced to see what they had and what they lost, and often this realization comes too late. The power of absence lies in its ability to teach without words. There is no need for confrontation, arguments, or long explanations. By stepping away, you communicate everything that needs to be said without uttering a single word. Your absence becomes a mirror, reflecting back the actions and attitudes of others. It forces them to confront themselves in ways that your presence never could. It is not an act of manipulation, it is an act of allowing the truth to rise to the surface, unclouded by the noise of daily interactions. When you are present, it is easy for others to assume that you will always be there. They may fail to appreciate the effort, love, and energy you bring to the table. They may even take advantage of your loyalty, assuming that no matter what happens, you will remain. But when you remove yourself, the dynamic shifts entirely. The things they took for granted, the support, the care, the stability, are now absent, and the absence is felt deeply. It is only then that the weight of your presence is truly understood. In many cases, people will not value you until they are forced to experience life without you. This is not a reflection of your worth, but of the inability to recognize it while you were there. Absence becomes the catalyst for their awakening. It strips away the distractions and forces them to confront the truth that your presence was not something to be taken lightly. It is a painful realization, but one that often leads to growth, both for you and for those you leave behind. There is also a quiet dignity in stepping away. It is a way of saying, without words, that you refuse to stay in spaces where you are not valued or respected. It is a way of honoring yourself and your boundaries. Walking away does not mean you care any less. It means you care enough about yourself to prioritize your own well-being. It is an act of self-respect, and that respect often commands more attention than any words ever could. Your absence becomes a testament to your self-worth, a powerful reminder that you are not defined by the way others treat you. Absence also allows for growth, not just for those you leave behind, but for yourself as well. When you step away from situations or relationships that no longer serve you, you create space for new opportunities, connections, and experiences. You give yourself the chance to heal, to reflect, and to grow. Absence is not just about what you leave behind, it is about what you move toward. It is an act of liberation, freeing yourself from the constraints of a situation that no longer aligns with your values or your purpose. People often fear absence because it feels like loss. But absence is not just about loss, it is also about clarity. It reveals what is real and what is not. It shows you who truly values you and who only value what you could offer. It separates the superficial from the genuine. In the space created by your absence, the truth emerges both about others and about yourself. It is a powerful and often uncomfortable revelation, but one that ultimately leads to greater understanding and freedom. There is a profound strength in walking away with grace. It is not about making a dramatic exit or seeking revenge. It is about quietly and confidently removing yourself from situations that do not align with your worth. Your absence speaks volumes because it is rooted in integrity and self-respect. It is not a cry for attention, it is a declaration of independence. It is a way of saying, I know my value and I refuse to stay where it is not recognized. Your absence also allows others to take responsibility for their actions. When you are present, it is easy for others to deflect or avoid accountability. But when you are no longer there, they are left to face the consequences of their choices. Your absence forces them to reckon with the impact of their behavior, not because you demand it, but because the truth of your absence makes it unavoidable. It is a lesson that can only be learned in the quiet aftermath of your departure. There will be times when your absence is misunderstood. Some may view it as rejection, indifference, or even hostility. But those who truly understand will recognize it for what it is, an act of self-preservation and self-respect. Your absence is not about punishing others, it is about protecting yourself. It is about creating the space you need to thrive and grow. Those who genuinely care will respect your decision, and those who do not were never meant to stay in your life. The impact of your absence is often greater than you realize. It ripples outward, touching the lives of those you leave behind in ways you may never fully see. It challenges them to grow, to reflect, and to change. It also frees you to step into a new chapter of your life, one that is aligned with your values and your purpose. Your absence is not an ending, it is a beginning, a powerful, transformative act that paves the way for something greater. When you choose to remove yourself, you are making a statement about what you will and will not tolerate. You are setting a standard for how you expect to be treated, not just by others, but by yourself as well. Your absence becomes a beacon signaling to the world that you value yourself enough to walk away from anything that does not honor your worth. It is a silent yet powerful declaration of self-respect and strength. Ultimately, your absence is not about others, it is about you. It is about honoring your own needs, values, and boundaries. It is about creating a life that aligns with your purpose and your peace. Your absence speaks volumes because it is a reflection of your inner strength and self-awareness. It is a reminder that you are not defined by the way others treat you, but by the way you choose to treat yourself. In the silence of your absence, a powerful truth emerges: you are enough just as you are, and your worth is not dependent on anyone else's recognition or validation.